So today the topic will be the Chan philosophy of Master Sheng. It's presented by Venerable Guoxing. So he used to be an abbot at a New York Center, but currently he's the vice president at the Chan Hall. So right now we will give our time to Guoxing, Venerable Guoxing. Guoxing Ami Tofo. Do I have to say the opening sutra chant or no? This is not a sutra talk, right? So yeah. So let's just start like this. Okay, it's okay. So this time, this is Master Sheng Yan's Chan philosophy. This is the second time. So the following, well, there are 4 times. The last time it was very short, so there's a lot of things we didn't get to cover. So today I will start from the beginning. This to talk from the PowerPoint. So some of it will be repeat, but maybe around, because I don't have a script, so I'll just talk as I go. Some will be new, some will be old. So when we're talking about Chan, the Chan philosophy, my understanding is your own experience. When your experience of Chan, so if you can, when your experience of the true nature, if you can see your true nature, and you see, you must know, you must use your experience of enlightenment to resolve or resolve all the the vexations from without beginning. So also you can use that to help deliver other sentient beings, and you do this simultaneously together. If you are just removing your own vexation and you do not try to help deliver innumerable sentient beings, most likely your wisdom will not be perfected. And this is because why? This is because our mind and our body cannot be separate from all sentient beings. Our body and mind, to survive, it must depend on and the support of all sentient beings. So we always see that our body is a so we depend on the outside phenomenon and things and people, to including clothes and buildings, to support our life. So these all these things are a result of the efforts of all the sentient beings. So if we want to live, we have to depend on the outside phenomenon. So other people to so the other people also want to live. So we know, when we know the animals will fight and compete for resources. Why do animals fight for things, or to serve, or fight for kingship? And it's because if I can conquer them, then I can have the food or resource, and also reproductive rights. And so why do we want money? Because we all want to survive, and in order to survive, and this you will have, so you want, if to survive, you'll fight. So humans are a little bit more civilized. So what do we use? We use a format of collaboration, but some people still cannot help but take a little bit more. So living in this world, before you become the Buddha, our body must depend on the outside things, food, people, to not just food, actually, to support us, to allow us to live, and then to practice, actually. So once we have an enlightenment, you have to use you have to interact with all sentient beings, and the act of delivering the sentient being is developing merit. So, and you're also developing a expedient wisdom, one might say. So the Buddha is merit and wisdom both perfected. So suppose if you don't have vexation, but you don't understand, or you don't know to deliver other sentient beings, for example, like, you're an arhat, you're not like the Buddha. You, your wisdom is limited, unlike the Buddha's. The Buddha is all-knowing or omniscient in some, is it knows everything. It's not omnipotent, but it's omniscient. So how to deliver all sentient beings is known by the Buddha. So this portion, you have to learn this part once you've reached enlightenment. You have to deliver innumerable sentient beings, and in those innumerable sentient beings have what? They have innumerable problems, thinking, causes and conditions will be different from yours. So therefore what? So we have, say, the Dharma gate is endless, and that we vow to learn. And so we have to, according to each sentient being's character, we have to learn different ways to help them. So once you have enlightenment, if you to deliver, because you have created past karma, and this karma is always bounded, related with other sentient beings. So by we talk about you're receiving the retribution, and at the same time you from your past karma, but at the same time you make new vows to deliver others. And so what's the thing we have to talk about is how to take the retribution from past karma without the self. So naturally you have to work on this. If this work is inward work is wisdom, and outwardly then it's about loving kindness and compassion towards the others. So this is called a convenient wisdom, or and then during this process, because we need to deliver sentient beings, and then there are different methods that emerges. For example, the different ways of methods. When Master Sheng is delivering other, for example, he said he might start from the point of Chan, or we talk about any kind of the promotion of concept, and also all general good deeds like charity. And because of all this, because there's the different needs, and there are different methods that come out. There's for Master Sheng, there's only the move in the right direction, but there are no fixed approaches. So it's like, in other words, you can say that the sentient beings are helping Master Sheng or to 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 help you realize Buddhahood. So even regardless if you are one who's enlightened or not, you cannot. We are one. We are one in essence. So you cannot separate yourself from others, regardless if it's your body or your mind. If you if you if you take out all the outside conditions, you cannot live, right? So for our mind, um, we besides the need for us to our all our senses we have to eat. So our eyes need to see, or our ears need to hear things, or you'll become depressed, right? So in here, the master said there's only moving in the right direction. There's no fixed approaches. So this is kind of the big direction, right? If you start to see to uncover the Buddha nature was always perfect in the first place. So this is like what um, because our delusions, and we have dis- discriminating thoughts, so that prevents our Buddha nature to realize. And in this, because our the function of Buddha nature need to be developed to its max. And so this is the big direction. And so the only method is what is to change your method according to the location, time, and place, and how we can help other people to also relieve, be free from vexations, and or all kinds of little things. This is the big picture. So if so that is how we can understand this statement by Master Sheng, just to move in the right direction without fixed approaches. And so, like last year, um, we all know we had some activities that we worked with the government, and it got canceled.
Like this
Like,
evening, our POSA event, and we have about 300 people attending. And at the last minute, some event happened and we have to cancel it. And we use our wisdom and our compassion. We look at the event and act accordingly. Chan is there is only a direction. There's no specific way. You're always heading a right direction, but there is no particular method of Chan. The Buddha self-nature include. It all depends at the moment what happened, and without any judgment and the event that happened, of the people, of the event, or the things. The heart has unlimited ability to see and act accordingly. There is nothing not included or excluded, and it will be seen as is. All the phenomenon picked up by your five senses will be seen as is. at the Buddha nature. Only the heart doesn't move, is able to see all, it doesn't disappear, it doesn't end, it doesn't stop. It will be able to aware of all. Just like there's a saying, you have been eating all day, but you don't even know that there's a piece of rice into your mouth. You are just in the function. The Buddha nature is in the function without knowing the body. You just do what is necessary, right? Everything, in summary, everything that you see and everything that is being act is your heart, is your mind, is your Buddha nature. All the external phenomenon that appear that is what you see is actually your last thought. You always is your current thought, but there's always a last thought. And your current thought cannot see the last thought or even connect with it. Sentient being and Buddha are actually using the same essence. It's the same heart. It's how we use it. Buddha don't think there's an I doing something. There's no subject. Sentient being does. Sentient being always have an I as a center to act upon something external. So everything we saw or every phenomenon that I see is always in our memory. We're always living in the memory. History that has passed. And the sea and the wave on top of the sea is always there. But sentient being always think like a wave. I think there is a myself. Sentient being never knew that there was a sea actually behind, but underneath it, it doesn't change, doesn't move. It always treats itself as a center, the wave or the bubbles floating on it. So quite often we think that if I'm not enlightenment, I'm always against enlightenment. When you use your heart to see without judging, without you always, if you see it without using a opposite way of me and you, subject and object, there's always something against and a fan, a table, your leg pain, even the pain of your leg of a person is always a center me and something outside. So there's always a duality of both sides. That's how sentient thinks. But actually, the Buddha nature doesn't operate that way. So a sentient being always use the external phenomenon to justify it must be an I see all this, I see all the memory. I'm acting based on what I knew in the past. And emotion is based on what I see. So always operating in a duality mode. Actually, all the material think uh, very often, funny thing is people think, same thing, I'm very objective, I'm very objective, I'm so fair. But you didn't know they're always objective, still looking for, there's a self inside the body. It mistaken that I'm objective, but actually it is very subjective. There's duality of me, subject, looking at the outside. It is the only thing that it is objective based on history in my memory, in the presence memory. So it's an objectiveness based on being conditioned. It is a conditioned objectiveness. Again, is still operating in duality. So again, it's always your experience in your database, in your mind, is always conditioning you. It's always telling you this is the world. So you're actually having a habit, some call habitual tendency. Your action, the way you see the world, the way you see an event is based on the memory, history. So therefore, you build a habit. You're being conditioned by your past experience. Or sometimes some people say, you are being tortured by your memory. So in Chan, everything is one heart. It's a method of the mind. The method of Chan is a method of mind. It's how you understand heart, mind, your Buddha nature, how it operates without duality. The teaching comes from the realization of the Chan practice. From practicing sitting, you realize how Chan works, how your mind works. And through the practice and teaching, you enlighten, you awaken the Buddha nature. You enlighten and you wake up the essence. You enlighten and you wake up the sleeping Buddha. Every single one of us have a sleeping Buddha. It is just sleeping or slumbering. But through learning Chan, through the practice, we slowly realize how it functions. It's like looking at a map. Chan is like we're giving a map. With a map, you have row, names, corner. Through the map, through practice, you slowly understand how the city, how the Buddha realm works, how the environment of the heart functions, which is an enlightened heart, enlightened nature is there's no duality. There's no memory. It doesn't depend on memory. Sentient being, the the goal of Chan is teach and slowly guide them to deliver them to understand the heart or the Buddha nature. And the practice comes from your daily practice, not only on just on cushion. Let me tell you a joke. When you give a little boy a very nice piece of fruit or some candy or $1,000 US. And the $1,000 can buy many buckets of candy. To the little kid, you know, the little kid, they don't choose the stack of $1,000. They will go pick up a handful of candy. They are not conditioned by the experience. They act accordingly without duality. They look at the candy, they immediately, at the moment, pick the candy. The Master Sheng Yan's teaching in Chan basically is from teaching, come from the realization of Chan practice. That is how Master Sheng Yan teaches us. The way Master Sheng Yan teach Chan is different from traditional Chan teaching. In tradition, you just sit there, or you just do Chan walking. Other than that, other than the traditional way, other than sitting and walking, we do prostration, we do recite of sutra during the morning and the evening. And why do we do that? And some people, the body cannot stand this regimen. It's actually can be very tough on the body. So the method of Sheng Yan Fa's teaching is that each charge according to different sentience conditions and change the way of teaching accordingly. The next paragraph is we act with the flow of the situation in space and in time. And depending on where the causes and condition is at that moment, we will go accordingly. For example, when someone wants to buy a car or sell a car, in Taiwan, to buy a car, but the annual salary is not very high. In China may be different, but in Taiwan, Master Sheng Yan, when he first returned from Japan, and Master Sheng Yan was a Taiwan citizen, the example is Sifu graduated and got a master's degree and a PhD from Japan. It's like he has a driver license. But when he reached Taiwan, he has a license to drive in the world of Buddhism. But there is no vehicle for him to drive in the world of Chan and Buddhism. So he has the ability, the accreditations, but there is no causes and condition ripen for him to carry on the teaching or the journey of Chan. So at that time, a particular very, very special causes and condition came about, and Master Sheng Yan went to United States because there is no opportunity, no right condition for him to stay in Taiwan. So he went to United States, went to New York.
So over a few years, like you guys are in the United States right now, weddings ceremonies or the followers. So this is what the master talked about: acting with the flow of the situation. Where the causes are and the conditions are. Be where the causes are and conditions. This is not just meditation practice. Our life is like this. So a lot of big company CEOs also say the same thing. You have to, if all the conditions are ripe and there, if you have 90% of it, and if you just put that effort in, then you will be able to get the results. So this is not just applied to Buddha Dharma. This is something that we can apply to our normal life as well. So next, moving along with the causes and conditions. This is talking about Shifu, how when he through his when he was a kid till now, he started spreading the Dharma. This experience, we can see this. So, and early on, when when he was a little novice monk, so that Shifu already said that how wonderful the Buddha Dharma is, yet so little is known and so much misunderstanding. So I'm going to derail a little bit here. So early on, when Shifu is looked down at, because during Master Shifu's time, everybody make a living by just doing chanting alone, and in his eyes, it's there's the Buddhism was in very bad condition overall, and so for Master Sheng, he has sort of looked down at those monks at the time who just do kind of ceremonial chanting for the dead, and but when he moved to Taiwan, so he felt that way, right, about this kind of chanting ceremony for the dead. So he said he decided to teach the Dharma instead, and also take a lead and meditation retreats, and actually with his charisma, he actually has a lot of followers who come to listen to his talk and also learn meditation. But then actually a lot of the followers still have the need for those kind of traditional the ceremony for the dead. But at the time, Shifu still had that kind of negative view on those services. So 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 even though they agree and they actually like what Shifu is teaching, but they still have the needs. But so in the end, Shifu changed his approach, and that so we still now provide these traditional services, and we use these kind of traditional services to help others and help ourselves, and so because we have this kind of causes and conditions, so that's why we started to host these the Great Compassion uh, uh, repentance, and a lot of these like a big the offering to the dead, the ghosts, or like the land and water ceremony. So all these things we didn't used to do in the past, and so Shifu, in the past, it just used to be like you pay some monks and then they give you these kind of services, and they give you the services. So it's just like a trade. But how Shifu wanted to change is that this is more of a service with purpose. Um, so from this example, you can see how he's moving along with the causes and conditions. So here he's the first point. He says how wonderful the Buddha Dharma is, yet knowing so little. So this is also another a big direction that his. So whenever he's writing a book, or he's going along with this big direction. So how his thought is like, how can I teach the Dharma that so that everybody, even a little kid, can understand? So when we see Buddha, Shifu's teachings, it's so easy to understand. We feel, but actually he is. So for someone who has a really high level of study, they can still gain deep knowledge from these simple teachings. So this concept, so following is what he. I remember Shifu when he was in the military. So I personally like meditation, right? So at one time, Shifu told me that actually he when he was with Venerable Ling Yuan, actually his meditation skill was actually already very good. So when he met Venerable Ling Yuan, so when he met him, so 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 he kind of he one night when he was with Master Venerable Ling Yuan, so they were sleeping on a large bed, a shared bed, and Venerable Ling Yuan, he doesn't sleep sideways. He sleeps sitting. So Master Sheng also slept sitting, and so they asked him a lot of questions. He asked Ling Yuan how can I become a monk again? Following which master? All kinds of questions to Ling Yuan. So Ling Yuan kept saying like, well, is there more? Is there more? Is there more? Is there more? So once Master Sheng is about to done, and the Master Ling Yuan hit the bed very very hard. It's like let go, and so and then through that experience, he had a very light and experience of letting go. So he was still a monk at the time. Master Sheng was still a monk at the time. So then he ended up becoming a monk with Dongchu, Venerable Dongchu. So anyways, later on he went on a solitary extended retreat. So this is all causes and conditions. Venerable Guoxing knows a little better, so he'll. So anyway, after this his solitary retreat, he went to Japan. This is also following the causes and conditions. Him following the causes and conditions. So when he was in Japan, after a few years, he came back to Taiwan, which I just said just a moment ago, because his causes and conditions were not ripe. So he wanted to spread, but the causes and conditions weren't there. It's like having a driver's license, but wasn't able to drive. There's no place for him to shine. So it's like, oh, if you want to go, if you're going to speak, no one's going to listen to you. So his causes and conditions led him to America. So when Shifu is in the United States, he led 7-day retreats. So actually, I heard that Venerable Dongchu specially went to the U.S. to see him and what he's up to. So actually, Venerable Dongchu also went to Japan to check him out and see how he's doing. So anyway, after he was in United States, he stayed in Chonghua Institute. No, he stayed with Shen Jiazhen. So and because he wanted Shen Jiazhen wanted to translate a lot of Buddhist sutras. So he set up a translation bureau, and so Master Sheng Yen was responsible for this translation bureau. So when he went back to Taiwan, he continued this translation effort. But when he set up this translation bureau in Taiwan, but a lot of people who were translating their English might be okay, but they do not have meditation chan experiences, or nor do they have knowledge of Buddhism. So he started taking these translator to meditation retreats, and but uh, but the talent is not difficult. It's really difficult. So later, so next, so this translation Beirut become another department, become the three studies department of Dharma Drum Mountain. Yeah, so so trend it becomes this, it got encompassed into included into it. So following that, and this cause and condition led him to do also retreats in Taiwan. Um, and so finally it culminated in the Dharma Drum lineage of Chan Buddhism that he set up in Taiwan. And then also he had a dialogue, famous dialogue with Dalai Lama. So we'll talk about this later. So Shifu is actually Shifu Master Sheng Yen doesn't not praise the modern discourse on Tentai and Avatamsaka's sutra. So anyway, we'll move on. Here, Venerable Inhai and Venerable Dongzhu both have been to Japan. So when the Dongzhu went to Japan to see if wait, actually, I think he might have been to Japan to study Japanese a little bit. So he told Master Sheng Yen to go to Japan to study the ways that the Japanese study Buddhism. So Venerable Inhai actually went to Japan with Shifu together. So when Shifu was in solitary retreat, so we talked about this before. So when he was he followed the Agama Sutra, and so he practiced the three kinds of sutra. So the Surangama great meditation and the Avalatangmakasa meditation. And so next slide, the methods of Chan is the Buddha Dharma as a whole, and all methods of Chan are one in essence. So I said before, not one thing. The mind, the Chan is the mind. So so Chan is used in daily life. Chan, this word, is from what? From India, from the Indian word dhyana, or in Chinese dhyana, channa. And so dhyana actually means it's a Chan concentration. So there's the first Chan, second Chan, third Chan. So this is the dhyana. So when it came to China, so it became wisdom. So Chan becomes what? Chan becomes the mind. So here we say the Chan, the Chan method is the method of the mind. So in these conditions, we talk about these conditions as two special characteristic. It's like the Platform Sutra, the self nature concentration and self nature wisdom. So all our mind, or whoever you are, they all have these special characteristics. So what is illumination? Illumination is when your mind has the ability to know. So it's like seeing, to illuminate. It's like, or in Sarangama Sutra, it says it's the brightness. So sometimes to talk about it as to knowing. So mind has many functions. So the other function is to collect, and that's to not move. That means to not move, or empty without object. It's kind of like an ethereal emptiness, and so our mind has these two characteristics. So one is to illuminate, one is to collect, and to illuminate is wisdom. It always it's in a it's always in a it's an illumination without duality. So the collecting is like an empty state of emptiness, or ethereal nature. Ethereal is like your ability to know. So the emptiness is what is emptiness without object. So all our minds are like that. So another one is all our mind and your mind cannot be separate. So I sometimes I say 1 2 3 4 0 1 2 3 4. The zero. It's a homophone to the Chinese zero. It's like your self nature is a zero to and if you added all the zero, it's still zero. And because this two characteristic are this in this has this state. So from the Surangama Sutra's point of view, we 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 talk about that our self nature doesn't have nothing, has nothing. And so if we one if one deluded thought um, is what leads to all phenomenons. And so it talks about this process and how and this is what from this is from 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 the ever-changing emptiness to transforming into all the true ultimate truth. So say through your practice, uh, and the Han Shan master, so he through practice, he through practice went from um, went from a normal state of being and until to a state where where the outside phenomena disappear, like we say in Chan, we say what where the when the language and this disappear, and then the other kind is where all phenomenon disappears, and then even the emptiness ethereal nature disappears. So Master Henshin is like this state. So he through he also meditates. So he sees that all phenomenon disappear. So he entered in a state of emptiness. So at that time, at that moment, there is no concept of time or space time. So so how so from that state of coming out of that state of experience, we he sees that this world is like a dream, and so he starts to slowly regain this feeling of his feet. So this is Han Shan Master's experience. So this, in other words, our mind, we can see that the ultimate truth to go back from the ultimate truth into the ever-changing emptiness. So this is like what in said in the Sarangama Sutra, so to go return from the delusion into to what's in the truth. So this so even though we are not as enlightened as Master Han Shan, when you go to sleep at night, you don't think, you don't listen. So even though you don't have a dream, all the phenomenon world in front of you disappear, but your ability to feel or know with your mind is still there. So at night when we sleep, your all your our mind is in like a dull state. So you can't be like Chan practitioner or meditation practitioner. They can do what they can they can see that all phenomenon has like disappeared, dissolved, but they still know very clearly. So in 2000
In 2001, with a 49 days retreat, and many of us, we felt that the universe doesn't even exist. The world outside of us don't exist. Today, the samsaric world doesn't seem to exist as you are sitting into a samadhi state. And very often our ignorance arises from the true heart because we misuse the true Buddha nature of mind, of the Buddha heart or the Buddha nature. So we misuse the functionality of it. We use a duality way of using the Buddha nature. Buddha use a non-duality nature in terms of functioning. Everything in this world doesn't separate from the heart, doesn't separate from the Buddha nature. No matter how many books, how many nature, how many knowledge you know, nothing goes away from your heart. Okay, I've been talking about 1 hour, so I wonder if there's any question. Okay, Fa Se will take a little break for Fa Se to go to the restroom, and everybody can take a short break, and we'll come back in a couple minutes. Thank you, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, before Fa Se came back, if you have any question, please write it down, send it to the chat, and then maybe we'll organize the question and answering. Fa Se say, all of you have any questions? The host say, the following session, please raise your hand in the Zoom session, and I'll go according to the order. You don't need to change your channel. We have both channel interpreter for English and Chinese. So just leave your channel alone. You don't have to change anything. Brother Frank has a question. 阿弥陀佛，法师。
法师讲到记忆啊，记忆我有一个问题，跟一些零零点点的理解，就是我们的受到的教育，这个就是我们的记忆好像是存在那个大脑皮层，这是一点。另外一个就是说，人在往生之前那个记忆会快速回放。然后另外一个就是说，你如果禅定很好，或者是开悟以后，你可以就是说看到前世的记忆啊这些。那么把这些加起来，是不是可以理解成，就是说我们这一世我们的记忆应该是暂时存在那个大脑皮层，然后呢，我们走的时候，那个记忆好像是上传到就是心性或者空性里面去， 或者简单来说，可能是 upload 到 cloud 上面去。那么就是说，你人走了下一世以后，你忘了，但是实际是因为记忆还在，只不过是因为你没办法，就是说就是说 access，就是说你的 password 或者什么丢了，然后你就是没办法就是 access 到，那是不是？然后如果是你的那个禅定功夫好，或者是开悟以后，你就可以到心性里面去把那些原来的记忆，不管多少次再调出来。就是说，记忆这个东西是这么理解，是不是对的？想请教一下。
And in the future life in Chan. Well, we talk about our brain cell. What's it called? Let's say I'll treat it like a USB. Actually, our heart, our Buddha nature heart, does have a ability to record and to store this event and play back. And as you play back, you think that there is a me, there's a subject me involved. It seems to justify it. In Suragama nature, it's a let me give you an example. A light that is swinging, spinning light. You seem to see a light circle. Our brain operate as if we link all this image together as if there is a circling light. It actually that circle doesn't exist. It's only your connection of many instances of clips of image. So it's almost like creating something out of nothing. So what is in your memory, a lot of things is all pieced together, but they are all linked together by your Buddha nature and appear as if it's a continuous moving object. So the nature see it, the ignorant part of the Buddha nature, the unawakened nature, see it as a movie with 24 frames a second or even 30,000 frames per second. These pictures are just connecting them together as if they exist, looking from a subject called self.
可以理解。所以那个大脑皮层只是暂时的那一种记忆，这样，然后你走的时候，因为它那个物质就分散了，那么它这个记忆还是会回到你的心性里面去。好，谢谢，感恩。
The Buddha nature, the ignorant part of it that link them up as if the event is there, the event doesn't exist. You can pose your question and type it in the chat, and the host, I will read it so that Fasu can understand and answer accordingly. Okay, the next question is from Brother Eric Chan. Eric, you may want to unmute your phone. Amitabha, Fasu. Why is the reason
created
create the China Dharma drum
Buddhism.
because
he has
Zhong means the system, a new system. Why does he create this Buddha Dharma as this new sect, new name or new consolidation? As I say, because Master Sun Yan want to combine all the 8 so-called branches of Buddhism from India, through Tibetan, through Southern Asia, through Japan, through the Pure Land, through the Tibetan, and he wants to summarize the best of all of them. In fact, they're all pointing towards the same, 8 fingers all pointing to the same moon. So Sifu attempt to consolidate them into all these under the Bodhisattva's way of Chan, the way of the heart, how the Buddha nature operate, how the Buddha nature is being explained, how to practice, how to learn, how to realize, and how to eventually going towards the path of enlightenment. And it's different from the older days of in a Chan room, sitting, living in a Chan room. But Master Sun Yan's way is living in the sentient in our daily life. How do you carry your life in your daily life? It's a method of that immerse into your daily life when you walk, when you talk, when you cook, when you drive, when you work, when you interact with people, and you see things much more clearer from a less duality perspective. You try to see things as is, without judgment, without preconditioned concept, without judging, without using your memory, without using your history. Do not be conditioned by it. So it's a chant that is a way of life, a way of how your heart operates. And that is how Buddha realized the heart, the original Buddha nature, the essence of the Buddha nature. So the teaching is all consolidated into one. And it is important to appreciate and to merge with the southern branch of Chan that went to Burma, Thailand, Vietnam. There has a lot of very good practice. So Master Sun Yan consolidate them, and that because there's so much goodness, and he wants all branches of Buddhism to come together, all the goodness consolidated into one big river, going towards the realization of the true heart, the true Buddha nature, which everybody, you and me, all have. Is this explanation okay for you? Thank you, Fasa. I think I understand.
So I'm gonna unmute you. We'll have Brother Mao. So I don't have a question. So if you want me to ask a question, I'll ask. So what's his view on like 果玉法师, 果群法师, 果冲法师? So after they left what they left the Sangha, what is what is this? How does he feel? Well, he just feels, it's unfortunate. Yeah, it's like this. Everybody has their own causes and conditions. They have to um, go their own ways. And what can you do? So 师傅, so he I at the time I thought I thought that when they're choosing the next abbot, I thought he was the big candidate, but he left the sangha. So and the Guotong Fashi spent so much money and let him went to study. But this is good. Also, yeah, when he left, just Shifu just let him. Did Shifu did Shifu cry a little bit? He's like, of course he did a little bit, but it'll be fine afterwards. So, thank you. So some people ask if some people who are weak in the body or get sick easily, are they become enlightened more easily? But actually, some people some people, they actually, when they get enlightened, their bodies at their prime. So, for example, like the sixth patriarch, and when he got enlightened, he wasn't sick. You do have to spend a lot of when you're sick, you do have to meditate or and contemplate on that. But maybe a few people are like that. So, to if you have to let go of the attachment to life. Who else? Who else? And we have so so when Shifu is in his solitary retreat, what are the three different samadhi? So I'm not sure what he meant by the three samadhi. So during he's referring to when Shifu. So what is what is the three samadhi he's referring to? This is this what is this? Is it these three? Is it this three? So the great Surangama Samadhi is what is a Chan school's Chan school's this concentration. So Avatamasaka and the Pratyamapana are is if you don't if you don't if you're not abiding into all things, but then you can encompass and envelop all things, just like a big ocean. So the pratyatapana samadhi is like when you have to recite the Buddha's name, and you cannot lay down, and you continuously, and then you keep doing that until you can see the Buddha. So this is like this is more on the Chan concentration portion. So so if you have Shupusa, if you have any other questions, you can raise them right now. So here, so there's a so I have heard that some people, when people have experience, when in meditation they can hear sound coming from the body. So this has an experience. I had an experience where the body is telling me thank you. So Fashu said this is just a phenomenon coming from the mind. Is how do we explain this? So when we are when our body, when we're hungry, hear the guru sound, that's coming from the body. Uh, so at night, we also dream all kinds of things like thank you. So in any ways, all phenomenon all come from self nature. So all phenomena, whatever you hear, if you can be heard, the sound that is heard, or the sound that is being judged, that you have to use the mind. If you leave the mind, there's no way you can see the outside phenomenon without the mind. So if we talk about when you're reaching to the outside phenomenon, we say that it's the outside way. So the outside phenomenon comes from the mind in the first place. So you have to use your mind, right, to make judgment or to know of the outside phenomenon. So even our body is manifested from our mind. So from this logic, you can see that everything is coming from the mind. So if you go from this big picture, not one thing is not the mind. No one thing is the mind. So so we can't. When we don't have that kind of revelation or realization, we tend to see the outside phenomena as something separate. So who else? Melissa Lin. Where's Melissa? Okay.
Melissa Lim has a question.
I want to ask. So Shifu tried 3 kinds of samadhi, right? So Shifu said that we learn Chan method. We should not enter deep samadhi. So what is the situation? Why isn't that we're not supposed to enter deep?
Treat that as a objective when we sit.
So the Chan practice is you might enter samadhi, but the Chan
or the state
Chan is talking about the self nature concentration. So your self nature is already in a concentrated state of mind. So it's a little bit different. So Chan is coming back to the nature of the mind. So all the phenomenon is like the image in the mirror. Even the state of jhana is an image in the mirror. Do you understand that? So what is when we are meditating or Shifu is meditating, so that he's still in a state of concentration. So it's his mind is not abiding in any.
It is just along the journey you will have this
anything,
experience.
but
it is definitely not your.
So what we say, it's like not leaving all phenomenon, but not grasping on any phenomenon. That is what we call a self-nature concentration. Self-nature concentration.
Reach that objective.
So emptiness nature,
we're heading towards
and self-nature are all already in a state of concentration, but when we talk about these kind of samadhi practice, that's with samadhi with
the same Buddha nature,
object and subject. So it's kind of like what
it is, practice towards it, and one day awaken from it.
So didn't they say we'd say that Shifu tried three kinds of samadhi? So what is that? So those three samadhi is a function of the self-nature concentration. So when I'm speaking, that's as a function, right? So the samadhi.
The heart. Should we go towards that?
We operate our mind to create a phenomenon of samadhi.
You don't need to shoot for that
but the nature comes from the nature of these
practice. And when you
illuminate, our mind,
when you're quiet,
already
when your heart don't move,
has the realm,
your heart doesn't
concentration.
Your heart doesn't
so
see
our
things
mind
from inside itself.
Our mind has
see everything as is.
6 ordinary and 4 noble.
Your Buddha nature will slowly
our mind
and awaken. That is the direction you're heading.
Has this kind of memory, you might say. But if you bring that out, if you bring the samadhi out, then it will manifest. So this, I still don't quite understand. That's okay.
It doesn't.
Okay.
Depends on your past memory.
Thank you.
Register in your brain. So you're not being affected by condition, prior history, prior event, or prior condition. You don't have habit. You don't have habitual tendency. I want to continue the question, the last, I want to continue with the last question, the last sister say. One method is through there's a way, there's a wattle that you almost like a reverse, you ask yourself a question, trying to absorb or slowly review that you have a dualistic, or you have a duality nature. You want to see the duality nature. You want to be clear of the duality. Once you are very good in awareing the duality nature, then you're beginning to think towards how a true nature works. Once you are not being conditioned by duality nature, then you're heading towards the right direction of Buddha nature. So you practice in your daily life until it becomes almost autopilot, that you don't have to think about it. It becomes just the way you are. You are not conditioned by duality, me, you inside, and again, always again, a subject object outside. And your heart doesn't move. Your heart automatically has the ability to aware and to see. It sees through eyes, through ears, through skin. It sees, but it doesn't have any opinion. It just see it as is. It is this, the heart is empty. It's a whole space of empty, but this emptiness is so vast, is able to contain all, everything, but it doesn't have any opinion. But it will take action when it's necessary at that moment. So it teaches you to be in the moment in a daily life. The next question comes from Wang Pusa, Sister Wan. I want to continue similar questions. So my question is, Sheng Sifu encourage us to go into this type of samadhi. So I just want to clarify, Master Sheng don't want us to be in, to shoot for a target samadhi, right? See, everybody, when you are in the samadhi, it's like a life and death, start and end. Eventually, you'll come out of it when you are sitting. You're back in your daily life. Do you mean you will be sitting all day long without operating in daily life? No, you won't be. Okay, so don't worry about. You have to reach that goal, because you're in and then you're out. It's nature, in, out, start and begin at, is life and then. So everything is impermanent. It always start and always will end. Because the reason of time, we will open for 2 more questions.
So, so the original ability to, this is self-nature concentration. So this is there are the 2 sides of the same thing. So this is the 2 characteristics. So I have few experience now that when I came out, that there's a kind of energy that came out. So it's like sucking me in. And so in that state, I don't have any thoughts. but in my mind, I feel so clear, but they're not clear of anything. So is this concentration? It's definitely not wisdom. So I clearly know that, but I don't know what I'm clear of. But this you're just emptiness or ethereal state of mind. So you just know what's happening, and you have no thoughts. It's just that yeah, it's just kind of like I'm empty there. Is this self-nature concentration? Uh, in Chan school, we don't make a distinction. When I talk about self-nature concentration, I'm talking about the self-nature not having left that self-nature all the time. So, but when Shifu asked to move the books by Venerable Dong Chu, he did it, but not knowing how much time has moved. What we talk about is the subject and object has dissolved, and so when that happens, your mind is true. So you see yourself with this state of emptiness and ethereal nature, but the self nature isn't away from all phenomena, but you can still be empty or have an ethereal. The things come in and out, right? Like in a mirror, and so all this phenomenon is coming in and out and moving around. So this is like not something that you can work on. It's just like it comes out. It's because you don't know, so you think that it's not, that you don't know that it's something that you have to put effort into, but you just don't know how to operate it and to manipulate it. So how do I learn how to manipulate it? So you have to let go all phenomena, right? Like if you're in that state of mind, you can ask yourself, where's my mind? Where's your mind? Yes. Okay. Thank you, 法师. Amitabha. Amitabha. 法师, we have one more questions. Okay, thank you, 法师. Melissa Lin, sister. This is the last question. Thank you. 法师, when you explain the samadhi, that's the function, right? So if huatou and silent illumination, that's how you see your self-nature concentration, and through that concentration you can go to other samadhi. You can yes. So this is like all samadhi comes from the self-nature concentration, self-nature samadhi. That's the function of the self-nature. Yeah, now I understand. Okay, thank you. Now I can end it now. Okay, thank you, 法师. So please, everybody, please join Palm. 法师 return the merit. So 法师. So let's return the merit. Amitabha, thank you, everybody. Please send me the recording today to me. Okay. So today the Dharma talk will be end here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, 法师. If convenient, you can turn on your video and let 法师 see your faces. So we'll see everybody next week. Thank you, Amitabha. Okay. Thank you, 法师.